Hi everyone. I'm making this first video for my Patreon sponsors and specifically for the accountability of the use of the money that has been entrusted to me. As soon as December's contributions process, I will be withdrawing the money from my Patreon sponsors for the first time, and I want to let you know how the money will be used. There's 3 specific items that I'm using this money for. The first is from a week ago. The students in the community where I live had the day off school from PA day. I saw some of the children in my neighborhood that were essentially bored, and I very much believe in these children, and I don't want them being bored to lead to activities that will derail their life and the potential they have in life. I printed off a number of mazes and then used my binding machine to put a bind on each booklet. This cost me roughly $20 between using up a package of paper, needing to buy a new toner cartridge for my printer, and the plastic spines for each booklet. There's 6 children in this particular family. However, I printed off a number of booklets so that there'd be plenty for when their friends are over visiting with them. And this could be an activity the friends would take part in. Again, with the idea that they'd be engaged in something productive and wouldn't be getting themselves in trouble. The second item that I've used this money for is the purchase of a propane torch, as well as the propane canister that's used with it. I very much enjoy using my hands, and in fact I find it really rewarding seeing what I've created. This torch is for some of my crafts and modifications to manage my life and live the best possible life under the circumstances. This is something I wouldn't have been able to afford without having the money that you've given me through Patreon. The third item is something that I've mail ordered. It's a very high quality respirator with eye protection. I frequently am soldering, and for electrical soldering you can use either silver solder or a combination of tin and lead. So lead solder or solder with lead as a component is not something you should be breathing in. So this is a respirator to protect me from the fumes of lead soldering. It'll arrive in a few weeks' time, and I'll show you a picture of it in the next update I provide for my Patreon sponsors. But essentially there's a cartridge on either side of the breathing, and then there's the face mask. The reason I chose one with a face mask was because I'm used to having my safety goggles fog up from wearing a respirator that's a separate unit. So this is part of keeping me safe and having the personal protective equipment needed for the use of my hands. I find it extremely rewarding, and I'm grateful to have been able to purchase this. Before I finish this video, I want to share with you a few of the items that are on my mind for the future. November 2017 is the final month that the disability pension I receive will be able to provide me with sufficient money for groceries. So going forward, I'll be using some of the Patreon sponsor money to buy groceries to maintain a healthy diet. What's happened is the annual increase has not reflected the actual cost of living increase in reality. And over the past decade, this shortfall has finally caught up with me. So I'll be using some of this to maintain a healthy diet. The other thing that I want to mention are projects that I've got on the go right now that I'll be bringing to completion during the start of 2018. There's quite a few of them that I've got on the go because of bringing parts in from China. Shopping online and bringing the components in from China allows me to get more for my money. So instead of buying locally, I find that prices are, 30% or 40% less than buying off the stores here. I've got lights for my wheelchair that are for the rear of my wheelchair, like taillights in a car, that will be for vehicles to see the outline of my wheelchair. I'm going to be making a few bags for my wheelchairs. One of these is to hold my crutches. Another one will be for my bathing suit and towel. And a third one will be for the supplies that I bring with me, such as the tools to dress myself. I know how to sew. I learned how to use a sewing machine when I was 7 years old. And this is a skill I'll be able to use in making these bags the size and shape I need to serve my purposes. I've also in the midst of modifying a uninterrupted power supply so that it has a 5 battery bank and a pair of USB charging ports with a DC voltmeter. I've done something fancy with my internet connection, and I'm able to host the website that's a hobby and what I'm making to go along with this YouTube channel through my home internet connection. So the UPS is so that the server stays powered on when the power goes out during various winter storms. Where I live, there's above ground wiring, and so winter storms often cause power outages and surges in the power when the wind's bad. So this is to protect the server and keep the websites online during these outages. Those are a few of the key projects I'm hoping to bring to completion in the start of 2018. The other big one that's on the go right now is deep cleaning my home. I'm in the midst of going through everything I own so that the amount of effort it takes to take care of myself and like cleaning, dusting, mopping the floors, as well as using my power wheelchair in my home is the easiest it's able to be. So I'm going to be needing to buy a number of supplies like shelves to hold what I own and position them in a way that's useful for me with my specific physical needs. So I'll be buying some supplies like plywood to make the shelves and set them up for the needs again of my body. Finally, I want to close with a very sincere thank you. I'm finding it very rewarding making these videos. It's really wonderful to be able to share my life, inspire people, and share the logistics of managing the lifestyle that comes with the physical challenges and chronic pain I experience. I'm very grateful for the opportunity that you are giving me in growing this, and I look forward to reaching more people as time passes. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I don't take it lightly, and I appreciate you entrusting this into my hands to do something with it. Bye for now.